Hello everyone and welcome to my first ever weather video. I have never done anything like this before, so I thought, I just give it a go and see how it goes. This video compared to other weather videos is going to be focused more on Scotland than probably like the UK that some other channels do. But yeah, I do not know a lot about weather, so I'm just taking it off some of the things I've learned in the past from other channels, and from like learning stuff, reading up on stuff and stuff like that. It's quite an interesting subject to me, but yeah. So yeah. This is going to be focused more on Scotland than the whole of the UK, but yeah, let's get on with it then. I thought I'd show you what I've created as just a little spreadsheet from a weather station about 3 miles away from me in Lochgelly. This is I've just taken the max temp, the low temp, the average temp, the rainfall, and the snow day total. This one is not on the weather station. I just made this up myself. I actually should probably sum that as hang on here. Awesome. Excel tutorial as well, lol. Let's put that up like that. Cool. Okay, you can see here that we've had a max temp this month of 17.8. It's probably going to stay that way considering what the weather is tomorrow, because the last day of in March is tomorrow. The lowest temp in March was -2. We had a low temp of -8.3. We were only, I think it was 0.1 or something away from the coldest, which was December 2010. That was during that cold week in February when we had a lot of snow in Scotland. I'm sure if you live in Scotland, you know what I mean. The average temp of this month has been 6.3. So yeah, it's been fairly average. I'll be honest, quite a bit colder in January, and the rainfall. This month has been very dry. It's been exceptionally dry this month, considering, 26 millimeters. It's probably going to be the driest of the year, actually. I don't think we're going to be getting any rain tomorrow either, so I don't think that's going to increase. And we've had 2 snow days. In total this year, we've had 18. I think in 2020, at this point, we had around about 8 or 9. So that's probably double. That's pretty high. It's probably the highest I've seen since probably maybe even 2013, maybe even 2011 actually, or 2010. I can't remember exactly. I thought I'd show you where that puts me in the leagues in Fife, so like just treat this as Fife. This is basically, we had our second hottest March, our maximum temperature. You can see where it puts it there on the 2021 lead as well. 8.8 was the highest in January. It's quite a low high temperature. We so far in 2021, our minimum temperature has been -8.3. So yeah, you can see here. Yeah, February 2021 was only 0.1 away, 0.2 away from beating it in 2010. Wow, that was pretty close as well. And I actually watched it on the night it happened as well. And then, yeah, the average temperature in March has been pretty mild, actually, considering you look at all this. 2012, though, was exceptionally mild, weirdly enough. And precipitation doesn't even put us on the top 10 wettest Marches because it is nowhere near. Look at that, 2009, only 43 millimeters. That's 10th place. We're probably near the bottom, actually, in precipitation. But remember August 2020 when we had that thunderstorm, 273 millimeters. Jeez, that was exceptional. Okay, I'll show you the upper air temperature. So these are not the ground temperatures, because -7 in April would be pretty extraordinary. It would be pretty exceptional. So yeah, these are the upper air temperatures. So the temperatures, I can't remember how high it is in the sky. 850 HBA. I don't know how high up that is. Probably is 850 something, but yeah. See, I don't quite know a lot, but I'm just going through it. So you can see we're starting off quite mild here. We're going to take a drop tomorrow into April Fools. Maybe that is an April Fools. And then we're going to climb a little bit more. And then you can see on Easter Sunday night, it just takes an absolute tumble. And yes, we're probably going to see quite a bit of snow in Scotland over just after Easter. And then it'll probably last about 2, maybe 3 days if you're lucky. And then it sort of goes back to around average. But any time after the 9th of April is pretty much like, don't even pay attention to it. Anything after like the 6th of April, just sort of, take it with a pinch of salt, but sort of read into it a little bit. So yeah, we are going to look at the actual models and see what each of them are saying. We could try and get like a sort of an idea of what maybe we're going to experience over the next week or so. So yeah, let's start. Oh dear, that's not a good start. Okay, So that's the UK Met Office, so they only go 4 days. Yeah, so we're starting off quite warm on Friday, actually, probably closer to average, and then for Scotland, and then we're going to be sort of taking this cold air, this low pressure cold air down a little bit, and then on Sunday night at 12 o'clock, Sunday at 12 o'clock, it sort of starts to peek into the Shetland Isles and Highlands, and then it'll probably start heading south over Sunday night, and probably a bit of snow, hail, rain, maybe even some thunder coming into Scotland on Monday. So yeah, Monday is going to be a truly historic, possibly historic day in UK weather because the amount of snow, we don't know how much there's going to be because we're still 6 days out, so we'll need to see. GFS, this is the, oh my god, I'm terrible at this. This is the, let me just make sure I've reset, yes, okay. So this is the latest GFS, the 18Z will update in about an hour's time from recording. Probably already up when this gets put live. But yeah, this is the GFS upper air temperatures. So this should give us an idea of what we're going to experience in temperatures, for example. It's not the ground temperatures, but it should give us an idea. So yeah, Tuesday is quite mild. It's probably around 10, maybe 12 degrees right now. And then overnight, it does get quite mild overnight. And then Wednesday, it's still mild, but then Thursday, it sort of takes a little bit of that mild weather away. South of Scotland might be still quite warm, but the north is and the east is starting to get cold. And then it sort of builds back in again on Friday, the warm air, the 0 Celsius ice firm. Yeah, and then something exceptional happens. The Easter Saturday, the warm air is still here, and then it pushes down this -10. Like this -10 is exceptional. If this -10 gets into, Scotland, even Scotland in April, it's truly unusual. And it doesn't happen very often. The last time this happens was probably around 2013, I think. I'm not sure. You can notice we're raising these. If we go back to the GFA, look at this: 1,075 millibars in Greenland. That is truly exceptional. We could be close to a record on high pressure there as well. So now, what are we on now? Yeah, not as high, but yeah. And you can see here we're pushing down this -5 Celsius ice from. That's probably going to be anything in the -5 is probably going to be a mix of snow, hail, rain, thunder, sleet, anything like that. If we get the -10 in, probably will be snow, which the north of Scotland on this run does, but you can notice that the east and just the southeast and the south doesn't quite get it. If you're on higher ground down here, probably you're more chance of getting it, but the north of Scotland probably will be guaranteed snow. And then it's sort of, you can't keep it the -10 in that long in April. It's even getting the -5 down quite remarkable. And then yeah, -5 just stays there right into Tuesday. So probably still a mix of rain, sleet, snow on Tuesday. And then it sort of builds back in this sort of, this -5. Sorry, what's that one? Oh yeah, it's just slightly warmer, -5, I guess. And yeah, you can notice Scotland's getting a bit more mild, and England actually stays a bit colder. I don't think that's going to happen. It seems very unusual. Yeah, I don't... See, Wednesday still looks pretty cold, doesn't it? Damn. It doesn't really go away, really, does it? It sort of builds up a little bit warmer, but it doesn't really take away that cold, like, that chilly air, does it? It probably will be, at this point, rain for lower ground. Maybe a bit of snow, but it's all very, very, very... Because the air's so unstable at this time of year, and when you push down a -5, -10, it could be anything, really. Like, I had snow at at 7 degrees the other week. So yeah, it doesn't really build in the warm air back in again. That's weird. You can see it's sort of around -6 to -2 sort of upper air. It doesn't really build it back in, and you can notice the -10 is not so far away on the 10th of April as well. And it sort of just builds it back in. This is a long time away, so if we can get the -10 in on 11th of April, honestly, it's truly exceptional. And then it sort of it disintegrates, but it stays in the -5 isotherm. And then as we go to the end of the run, we start to build in warmth again, but you can notice it's kind of like just sort of breaking away by the 15th. So we could be setting up a very like a quite an unusual, quite a long spell of cold weather in April. That'd be quite truly exceptional. And I am living for it. So this is the GM. This is the what's the GM again? Is that? It's not the American one because that's the GFS. GM. What's that again? I know the ECM is Europe. I don't know what GEM is. Okay, yeah, so this one, 1st April, keeps mild air in, and then it sort of brings a little bit cold into Scotland. Notice the difference between this one, though, is it keeps the warmer air in over Scotland compared to the GFS on the 1st April, which brings a little bit colder air. Cooler air, should I say. Whereas this one keeps a little bit more mild in. And then on the Friday the 2nd, it brings keeps the high down on Easter Saturday, which we expect to keep the high down, and it brings this plunge down on the Sunday the 4th of April. Just this plunge, like instant, like the night when you go to bed on Sunday night, it'll probably be quite mild, but then you wake up and you'll be like, what? It's like -1 outside. And then yeah, we're bringing down this -5, a bit of -10 in there, but not quite. A bit of Shetland gets in there as well. Yeah, -5 right over the country, right down to France as well. Jesus. And then it's sort of, this one seems to be building a bit more. Yeah, it seems to be kind of trapped in like a -5 Celsius isotherm at this point. Oh my god, that would be weird. And then we're sort of building it back in slowly because we're kind of trapped in it. We're kind of like, God. Finally, this is the ECM. Yeah, so this one keeps cold. That one seems to bring colder air in. -5 might touch the Shetland Isles on Wednesday. And then the 1st April brings in more warmth. The 2nd April, this is the difference. This one's kind of bringing cold in the 2nd. Yeah, April Fool's apparently is going to be quite warm. And then, yeah, it's doing the exact same as well. Like, it's pretty similar to the GM. The only difference between the GFS, ECM, and GM is GM and ECM, this one, is bringing in the -5, but never really getting the -10 into southern Scotland. But the GFS is getting it into pretty much the half of the UK. So it's very, 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 like, up for, you know, we don't know if the -10 is going to get there. I reckon it'll probably get in half of Scotland, maybe down to Dundee, and then it'll probably sort of disintegrate again. Obviously, this is 6-hour sort of, you know, intervals rather than hourly, so I can't, like, obviously it's not fully detailed. And yeah, oh, look at what happens here though. It sort of builds this -5, sort of brings a warmth in a little bit, probably more like -3, -2 isotherm at this point, or -2 upper air temperatures, and it sort of brings this northerly blast back. That might be even colder than the one coming up this week. Wow, that is truly, truly exceptional. But it isn't unusual to see snow in April. A lot of people think it is. In the south, yeah, but in Scotland, not that much. I'm sure it's probably snowed in May before. But yeah, we could be setting up a very interesting April. I thought I'd make a video just to showcase what could be coming up over the coming week. Let's have a look at the actual Met Office forecast for my local area then. This is pretty much Fife area. This shows snow on Monday, so yeah, it's going to be very interesting seeing how it comes off. See if it's going to be hail, see if it's going to be rain, see if it's going to be snow, or even just, you know, just dry weather. Who knows? I doubt it'll be dry, but we'll see. Because the air could, because it's very unstable, could just produce like these ninja showers, as it's called, or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Maybe I'll do another one close to Easter, just to maybe on Saturday or Friday, and maybe I'll just I'll go through more details, and maybe a bit further ahead than Easter after this cold blast, because it might only be like 1 or 2 days, but it's going to be a very, very, very interesting event. But yeah, I hope to see you soon. Hopefully, see ya.